Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day, Monday, the 2nd of March, year 2026. This year is rolling on. I want to plead, I want to pray to God to continue to preserve our lives, to witness more of such good things in life. My name is Femi Afolabi. It's time once again for newspaper review and analysis this Monday. And my guest is here seated in the studio, Mr. Simon Fakeye. Mr. Fakeye is a veteran journalist, is a publisher, and of course, public affairs analyst. Mr. Fakeye, you're welcome once again.
Well, as usual, it's my pleasure.
How was your weekend?
Oh, it was very fine.
I hope this malaria that is ravaging the world now, the attack of coordinated attack by the U.S. and Israel on Iran has not really affected you.
No, I'm just getting set for increase in pump price.
Okay, talking about increase in pump price, maybe we'll start our review today on the likely economic implication of the attack in the Gulf region on the world, and particularly Nigeria. And I will do that by starting with the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Guardian newspaper says, marketers jittery as Iran conflict fuels supply chain crisis, $100 per barrel oil rally. What the paper is saying that already marketers are jittery and they are preparing for the increase in the crude price in the world. Already they are projecting $100 per barrel. And I don't think the current budget is predicated on such a big amount of money.
Yes, just like Yoruba people will say, Malu to sopa. So, as in the increment in the crude oil price is going to be an advantage for Nigeria. Although that could be in the meantime, because the implication at the end of the day could be a kind of rising inflation. But as it stands now, I think the budget was based on $70 per barrel. Now that it's going to 100, so Nigeria is going to make more forex into the foreign reserve, and the resultant effect is that the naira will gain at least a reasonable measure of appreciation. It will gain more power, and it will definitely improve on the macro and microeconomy, no matter what. But at the end of the day, the marketers may be tempted to increase the pump price, and that is going to empty the masses' pockets. But we expected that when we expect government to try to put a kind of cushion to alleviate whatever inflation it could have cost the Nigerian masses.
Let's do a little bit of interrogation of this crisis, as it were. This is an unprovoked attack, coordinated by the U.S. and, of course, Israel on Iran. And people are saying, international experts were saying, why do they need to succumb to warhead, to conflict such as that? Where was the place of diplomacy in all of this?
Okay. Yeah, you agree with me that this is a kind of cause and effect. When you said unprovoked, I don't want to believe it was an unprovoked, no. But the level of provocation, to your opinion, may not worth it. Yes, but there was actually a provocation. Over the years, yes, let me say, can we refer to it as assassination? He was killed by authority, the U.S. and Israeli combined. So the killing of the leadership of Iran was planned, and it was because of years of maladministration. I use maladministration as a political term But in the real sense, that was not what the leader, Iran leader, has been doing. He kind of coercing the people of Iran, trying to, I mean, not trying, forcing, coercing, and becoming an ally for enemy nations of Israel. No, Iran, they have the military rebel by the name Hezbollah, and Hezbollah is Islamic militia who are fighting against the sustainability of Israel as a nation. They are more or less partnership in crime with Hamas. So, and that is one part. The America has been sending warning that you should stop this. You know, Americans see Israel or Jerusalem as the city of God and a nation that has been ordained to exist. And when we go to history, biblically, we'll see that Israel was allowed to exist by divine arrangement. In 2023, yes, when the Hamas struck and 1,400 Israelis were killed, that day, I think October 17 or October 7, when Netanyahu was addressing, the prime minister was addressing the world, he quoted some verses of the scripture saying that it has been prophesied that Israel will be attacked but not be conquered. He cited varied wars of international volume that Israel has fought and won. Even 6 days, when the nation was just 6 days old, about 7 countries came together to fight them. At the end of the day, Israel came victorious. This is not to say that Israel, the US, partnering with them to fight Iran in all, absolutely, that it was the right thing or legitimate thing to do. But for the fact that Israel has seen itself as a nation that has to fight to exist, that is on one side. Mm-hmm. And the Iran, the Hezbollah, now becoming an enemy and working together with the enemies of its enemy to fight them. So America was also ready to fight on behalf of the Israel. That is one. Secondly, the second aspect is that the US have been giving warning to the leadership of Iran that these arms, the bombs that you are creating, is becoming too much for what is allowed. You know, there are policies. The United Nations Constitution have created a reasonable limit to which every nation can go in accumulating, ballistic missiles and all of that. So Iran has been going beyond that stipulated agreement. So it received warning, but refused to listen. Yes, why we are saying that the US, why should it be US all the time? Who put them in control? But we all agree that in every system, there must be a controller. And the way the world is going, it must become a system that is controlled, because every nation is now trying to become the first when it comes to security and intelligence power. So I would say against the majority opinions expressed on the internet, that US is not doing well, is fighting Iran. But Iran must have listened to the guys, the doors and the ethos of accumulating ammunition.
Okay, I will not press that with you too much, because the religious dimension that you alluded to the whole narration, some school of thought would believe that, okay, things are changing. If you are looking at the religious aspect, why don't you look at the economic perspective too? But because people believe that America will not go into any conflict with any nation without specific interest in it. We know about Cuba, we know about Philippines, we know about some other nations that America are interested in. Already, people in Libya, they are regretting ever listening to America and what they did to their former leader. But
just excuse me. You see, as my opinion, nothing is free.
Let's
so in a situation where anybody has to fight for you, you must pay a price.
Let's leave that.
Okay.
We'll move forward. Still on this occurrence.
Okay.
I'm going to the front page of the Daily Trust, and Trust is saying Iran strike fallout. Shiite protests erupt in northern Nigeria. I'm saying already it is on record that people or some Shiite members in Niger State and of course Kano State are already protesting the assassination of Ayatollah Khomeini. So that is the religious angle that I want us to explore. What should Nigerian government be doing now?
Going by the history of how Iran became Islamized, the Nigerians should be careful. If not 50% of the population practice Shiite, they are Shiite worshipper or religion.
So if
you said
Shiite sect of
yes, sect of so, and that is a form of Islamic religion. So for the Nigerian Shiite to so believe that their brotherhood is being attacked in far away Iran, then it's a bad signal and it's a red alert for Nigerian security operatives to know that Nigeria is sitting on hot cake because this problem has been for years. There was times where their leader has to be arrested, tried in the court of law. Some of their protests, during some of their protests, they have been confronted by Nigerian police, and I think in some cases there were casualties.
You're talking about the El Zakzaky followers.
Yes. So that is to tell us how dangerous that set can become and how risky it could be on the Nigerian population. Nigeria is a secular country. So, and a country where there is freedom of religion and association. Yes, every Nigerian has that right to belong to wherever or to associate or practice any religion. But in a situation where one's religion is now creating problem for others, that is where the government and security operatives should come in. We have to give it to the new acting IGP, where he said he boots security around those states where they have much membership. So no doubt they have identified with the Shiite of Iran, and we know how destructive the tenants of the region has proved over there. So I would just employ the Shiite people to play by the rules. You have right to practice your religion, allow others, so that there will be peace in this country.
Okay. Allow others to practice their own religion for the peaceful coexistence in the country. We'll move forward. We're going to the front page of Punch newspaper, and this is politics now. 2027 polls won't be 100% perfect. INEC share wants. 2027 polls won't be perfect. INEC share wants. Of course, it's a general assumption or general belief that there is no perfect election anywhere in the world. There will be plus and minuses, there will be advantages and disadvantages everywhere. But for INEC share to be saying this, what should the opposition be thinking now?
Nothing. Professor Amopitan just said the obvious. That is what we know. So nothing strange. As you just said, nothing is perfect anywhere.
But the opposition will not believe that.
Okay.
Because it may be, they may term it as a condition for what is going to happen in 2027. That okay. After all, he has told us that the election will not be perfect.
You see, it is just that our politicians are trying to behave as if they are holier than the Pope. As we said, nothing is perfect. So whether the INEC chairman said that or not, nothing can be changed. Every election, you see, I have a change of mind during the first term of Trump, during that election. You know, after the election, I think the margin was so slight, and they have this collegiate system in America. So, from my opinion, I think it is a former and established way of rigging. Perfect one. So, because the whole world has voted, and you were not comfortable with the result. So, that is to substantiate the fact that nothing is perfect, especially election, anywhere in the world. So if our people are given a citing America example, no, they are not good example for us. And even after the election, I mean, during his second term against Biden, when Trump was told that he has lost the election, we all remember what happened at Capitol Hill, where he gathered protesters and they destroyed government facilities. By the time he won for his second term, Trump said, even before he was sworn in, Trump said he assured the protesters, even some that have been sentenced, that he will give all of them pardon, which he did. So I'm not trying to shield anyone, even the ruling party, for planning to rig the election. But I just want us to always face the reality that nothing is perfect. Even these are people, the newly born saints now, the likes of Obi, likes of Atiku, the Amechi and Co. They are being in this system. And they are not going to be holier than what we know them to be. So let Nigerians breathe. This statement by the Professor, the INEC chairman, is just the reality that nothing is perfect. Don't expect perfection. You know, when you look at the context of his statement, he was talking in the context of absolute real-time e-transmission. That we have network service that is not perfect. We have power supply problem. And I've given my town as an example, not village. My hometown, we don't have electricity, and whenever we attempt to make calls or even transfer on POS, there is problem. Many of the transfer cannot reach to the recipient. So that place now, during the election, we are expecting real-time e-transmission. How possible is that? So this is all from my own, the context from which the INEC chairman is talking. So we just have to show understanding and patriotism so that this country can move forward.
Okay, we're still talking politics, and I'll go to the front page of Punch, of Tribune newspaper, beg your pardon. Tribune newspaper says, Nigerians divided over opposition's rejection of new electoral act. Up till now, there's still protest against the already assented to bill to midwife the 2027 election. What this paper is saying is that Nigerians are divided. Some are in support of the continuous protest that the National Assembly and, of course, government should redo the Electoral Act and give them what they wanted, while some people are saying, no, that one is gone. And in fact, the APC said that is a bygone. Let them focus on what is going to happen in
I think I'm allowed to be blunt to some extent. Let them continue protesting. It is unfortunate that that protest is leading to their fallout or the loss at the poll. Because these oppositions now, the same thing that happened in 2023 is what they are moving towards. Now, there is PDP, the main opposition, splitted into 3 or 4 then. Today, they have not learned their lesson to come together. We still have the PDP Wike faction, the PDP Makinde faction, we have Labour Party, ADC. So, a single opposition splitting into 4 or 5 parties. And they are not ready. They are not working to collaborate and vote for one candidate. How come, as we speak, APC has about 31 governors. So whether governors have more votes than one or not, yes, let's simplify. Let's assume that it's just 31. The 31, we have children and wife. They have friends, they have commissioners, they have SAs, and party leaders who will automatically go the way they go. So adding this together for APC, the ruling party, and the other 4 parties opposition that are splitted. So I think they have had their results already before the poll. So I would just say that my plea is they should be sincere and patriotic for once so that Nigeria can move forward. Their protests cannot give them the presidency because they are not united. They are splitted. And the same way the vote will go. So when you add up the vote of Kwankwaso, the NNPP or whatever, the Labour Party, the PDP of Atiku, together for last election, you will realize that they will have beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But now, the same thing, they've not learned their lesson. So I would just say that with the way things are going, let them continue protesting, but I'm very sure that protest cannot earn them what they are expecting. And at the end of the day, they will be wasting our money and time at the tribunal.
Okay, perhaps our politicians should be sincere to themselves for once. And of course, in the interest of the nation, let peace reign and don't hit the polity too much, because everything that's going to happen in 2027 will be to our advantage or disadvantage, depend on how we play the game. I want to thank you very much sincerely again for finding time to be here. Because of want of time, we won't be able to extend beyond now, because we still have quite a lot to discuss. At least events are happening, things are trending, and of course, we will reserve that still another time we meet.
Thank you.
That is the program this afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow with a fresh edition. Good afternoon.